Welcome to the third episode of Empowering Voices of Harmony, Cold Journeys to Mental Health Wellness. Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we work. We pay our respects to elders, past and present, and we extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples tuning in today. A disclaimer that this podcast is intended for educational purposes only and should not be relied on as personal advice. Always seek the guidance of your doctor, psychologist, or other qualified health professionals regarding your physical and/or mental health. If you're experiencing a crisis, call 000 or Lifeline on 13 11 14 for suicide prevention services. Lifeline also offers SMS service on 0477 13 11 14. To learn more about Mental Health Foundation Australia, visit our website at mhfa.org.au. You can also follow us for updates on Instagram, Twitter or Facebook. You can also call us at 1300 643 287 or email us at admin@mhfa.org.au.
Welcome to another episode of Empowering Voices of Harmony. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that is actually quite personal to me as well. International students and the mental health issues that we face. So as we all know, Australia has more than 500,000 international students studying here. And it is no secret that international students are at a higher risk of facing mental health challenges compared to domestic students because we go through challenges related to cultural assimilation, discrimination, social isolation, yada yada yada. And to talk about this, we have a very special guest with us today who's going to talk about their triumph, experiences, highs and lows, and how they have coped as an international students here in Australia. Welcome, Yasir from Pakistan.
Thanks for having me today.
You're most welcome here, Yasir. So could you please tell us about something about yourself and why you have come here to join us today?
Sure. My name is Yassir Ali and currently I'm doing Bachelor's in Business Analytics at Deakin University. And I have joined today's session because I want to share about my experiences about what international students face here in Australia in terms of mental health.
That's very true. I mean, I understand completely. I am an international student and migration is one thing, yes. But when you are a student with that, it's a complete different picture. It just becomes so much more difficult and we have so many things that we need to worry about, financial pressure, academic pressure with that. I completely understand. But, everyone has a different story. So I would like to hear about your story here today.
Sure. I came to Australia just to study because Australia, as I know, is one of the top destinations for international students as well as Asian students. I have different experiences till date. First of all, I like to acknowledge that it was a complete cultural shock for me here in Australia. It's totally different what is there in my country and what it is here in Australia. So I had to go through a lot of difficulties finding jobs, finding residence, and just getting along with different peoples and new peoples because to be honest I didn't knew many of the peoples here when I came to Australia. So I had a lot of experiences regarding that. Study is one thing. It's absolutely there is a kind of pressure on international student during these studies because when you are coming here in Australia, as you compare to what we have in our country and what we have here, there is a high difference in cost in
True.
what we bear as financially
Mm-hmm.
because the thing is that we know we have to study hard and we have to keep up to the track record, because the thing is that you can't go wrong. That's the thing in our mind, to be honest,
Exactly.
because when you are spending thousands of dollars, so you gotta realize that that's the thing. So that's the one of the main issues which I faced here. And other than that, the second most difficult thing I found here is like not having anyone beside my side.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my country, I have my parents, I have my friends, I have my family, but here in Australia, I don't have anyone. I still remember it was just 1 month in Australia, and like I was traveling at it was around 10 p.m. in the night, and suddenly I had some trouble with my car, and to be honest, I didn't have a single bit of knowledge about the car. So suddenly it stopped. I was shocked, like what happened. So I cannot call anyone, because like who should I call? Like my dad is not here, my mom is not here, not any of other of my family members. So unfortunately, so these are the things like which set you back in this country. But I think yeah.
I understand. Like it happened with me as well. Like when the time difference is another thing, because even if you sometimes want to just talk to your friends, because you and I are of similar age, and at this age you kind of like lose that ability to make friends, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
so we already have our friends back home, and sometimes you just want to talk to them, but the time difference, and
Yeah.
at this age, probably when we are about to sleep, they are about to start their evening, and it's just so complicated. And as we become adults, it becomes more difficult to, you know, talk to your friends and maintain that relationship, and you become more and more lonely, and you feel lonely even though you might not be. So, how did you cope up with that when you feel lonely? What did you do in that situation during that car breaking down?
I didn't had much to do, so I actually the best possible thing for me was to find out everything on the Google by myself,
Mm-hmm.
and had to call the services for that. And other than that, like you are absolutely right, there is a big time difference between Australia and my country. So whenever I had to call my parents, I had to look after the time, because
Mm-hmm.
you know they always tell us like you can call us anytime you want, but at the back of our head we know that we don't need to disturb uh, their sleep or their work or
Mm-hmm.
something they are in middle of. So that's the thing, time difference has impacted me, I think. And other than that, about the friends, it's really tough here to make friends. If you could understand me, I have tried a lot. I have tried in my university, I have tried outside of university, I have tried in social events, but like you get along with the people. It's not like uh, that they don't behave with you well or something like that. They are good. The people here in Australia are good, but there is something like I don't understand. Like you can't make friends like we have made back in our own home country. So this is one of the very disturbing thing for me as well.
I totally understand that. I think it's also because of the cultural differences between our countries and in Australia, like completely Western society, which Australia is. Some things are like common sense here, which is not common sense back in our country. For example, like you and I kind of speak the similar languages, and I know this. Probably you had to face this as well. I had to face this when people used to think I'm very rude because I wouldn't say please and thank you. But I'm like, I had to tell so many people, like, I am not being rude. I'm sorry, I'm not being rude. It's just that it's very new for me to say that. Did you have to face it as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't knew like it is kind of compulsory in Australia. You have to say
Yes.
thank you and please every time. But back in my home, there wasn't such thing like in existence in my country. Like whenever your friend do something for you, like they just do it. We don't say thank you, but like whenever you say thank you, it was kind of bit embarrassing for them.
It's like expected
Yeah,
to them for helping.
yeah, absolutely. So I think it was kind of a bit shocking moment for me, but like now, according to the time, I have adjusted to this situation as well.
So do you think it's like because people here expect us to say please and thank you for anything and everything because it's a part of how the language is? Do you think it is one of the reasons why like it's difficult for us to make friends here? Because back there it is not like that and people probably think that we are just very rude and entitled people.
It could be one of the reasons, but mostly what I have like seen this is not the reason which I have been unable to make friends, because there are different things which here people do which I don't relate to.
For example?
For example, going out on every Saturday and Sunday nights, which wasn't much popular back when I was in my kind of home country, Pakistan. We the most we do was just sitting in a room and having a chat. But here it's completely different, and like might be uh, for me, but I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first came here, the people I knew would always go like to Chapel Street every Friday and like it's a Friday night, come on. And I'm like, I do not have that money. How do I go every Friday? But yeah, like I kind of understand and it's like a lot of pressure on us as well because our here they people finance themselves. Australia is amazing and their government is able to take care of their citizens, but we come from a place where our parents are financing us, our education. So we do have this pressure on us, like you mentioned earlier. How do you think about this pressure? Like, how do you cope with it? You know, because as you mentioned earlier, that there is the pressure that your parents like send you here, spending so much money on you, and you have no choice. Like, I mean, you do not have a choice to like, you know, not meet their expectation. You have to.
I think financial pressure is one of the biggest thing which is impacting the international students here in Australia. As I discussed before, the tuition fees are really high, and as compared to what we have in our country, as compared to the currency, the means like when we come here, there is a big difference in the currency, first of all, from my country to Australia. So that's one of the thing, and secondly, the tuition fees for international students are so high that sometimes, like most of the times, around 90% of the students have to work like 2 to 3 jobs to just bear their expenses and to bear their tuition fees even after getting help from their parents. So this is the thing that we don't get to enjoy most of the things outside which other people do.
Yeah.
So other than that, I think another thing in our head always is like we can't fail.
Yes.
We
I
can't
totally get that.
we can't get lower grade.
No.
That's not a possibility for us. So like this is a kind of thinking which is killing us inside.
Yes.
Back in my country, I had a freedom to fail. It's not big of a worry for me if I fail. That's not an issue because I can repeat that. But here, I know if I fail, I have to pay again for that subject, and
Yeah.
you know how much one subject costs. So that's what it is. I think one of the biggest hurdle for the international students here in Australia.
Definitely. I totally understand that. I mean, because I was at the verge of once doing that because I really did not like this one subject and I took that and I'm like, I still have to do it because I cannot afford to pay $4,000 for this all over again. And that also like the academic pressure, like we have to work and we have to study at the same time, and it like at the end destroys our mental health so much because you're either working or you're studying because you cannot fail, and at the same time you have to survive. And at this time we do not have any like time to socialize, make friends, or understand or settle in the country, the new country that we are in. And it like, I remember I was like so frustrated at one time. How, like, do you work?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Where do you want to talk about your work?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I work in a childcare industry, so I don't think it is one of the easiest job. It is also
Definitely.
one of the thing which like is kind of bit pressurable for you to deal with that kind of work. And as you said, we have to do study, we have to go for the work, and after at the end of the day, I don't think so that left us a lot of time to go and socialize.
Yes, 24 hours is
Yeah.
never enough for everything.
Yeah, so even sometimes you have to work Saturdays and Sundays as well to deal with the financial pressure, to deal with the living expenses and other things. So, yeah.
I totally understand because we are. Another thing like that I really want to talk about is coming from our countries, and since our countries are so similar to each other, and I work at a cafe actually.
Yeah.
So one thing is that I've never really told my family about like where I work because back in our home country, this is not the best job, right? And it's like so different here. Sometimes when I'm just working and I'm like, I hate the fact that I'm not telling this to my family. Like they know I'm earning, but they have no idea how I'm earning. I mean, maybe childcare is not the same, but what about like, have you like always worked in childcare?
No, absolutely not, and I completely agree with that. There is a lot of stereotype in our country regarding these jobs. I don't think there is much of that situation here in Australia. But like back in our country, like you cannot tell anyone that you are working in. Like you can tell anyone, but like there would be like a lot of stereotypes then you have to face from your even on your own family.
Yes.
So like whenever first I was coming to Australia, so like means like I I was planning at that time. I was planning to come to Australia. So like I had a chat with my father. So I asked him that I'm thinking of going to Australia for this study. So he said like, okay, it's fine by me, but like you know you have to work with your studies as well in the country like Australia because my family alone cannot bear the expenses of the whole thing. Like at least you have to do some of your part as well. So when I said like one of my friend is will help me get a job in a service station, what we call there in our country petrol station.
Exactly. Yes.
So he didn't say anything, but I could see a bit of disappointment. So I think these are the situations you will face as an international student as well, and those are the things which will affect you mentally.
Of course, it will affect us mentally really a lot because you have grown up in an environment where you see this as not the best kind of job, and but you come here and you do change your perspective, you do change everything. But when you tell that back home and they give you a disappointed look, like, is that why we sent you there? Kind of look. It's really so much pressure for us. But we cannot really get like we're already students, we cannot work full time, and no one will get a job that our parents expect us to be doing while we cannot work full time. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think back in the time where there were no restrictions on international students,
Mm-hmm.
few of my friends got the good jobs, means like very respected jobs. But now you cannot get those jobs because every time you go to a company, everything goes well, everything goes fine. At the end of the interview, they ask you, are you a citizen or are you an international student? But when you say like you are an international student, means like they say like there is this restrictions, there is this restrictions which are holding us back. So like even I understand from the company's perspective that I cannot say that it's company's fault, but
Yeah.
I could understand there are some restrictions, there are some laws they have to follow, and because of that, we have to face these situations. So I think that is one of the big of the hurdle for us as well. And as per the uh, working restrictions, same goes for that. Like you need at least 40 hours in a week to work in a company in a reputable job. You can, but if you only got 24 hours in a week, then you can only work in these kinds of jobs, and you won't be getting, in my opinion, you won't be getting much of that jobs which are like thought as respected in our culture.
But that also comes to, we also can talk about the hour restriction then. Do you think, as you mentioned the financial burdens already, do you think 24 hours is enough for you to like manage all your finances?
Unfortunately, no. 24 hours in a week is a very less time for us to manage all the expenses, all the tuition fees, and I have seen much of the students at first who were doing 24 hours job at some restaurants or some servers, but later they used to do Uber as well. But now, as the government has put more restrictions uh, in terms of working hours. So now even when you cannot use Uber or you cannot use other works for to earn more money. So this is the thing which is affecting them, and they are thinking like what we gonna do. So means like this thinking is like not good for the international students. So this is the thing which is affecting them and affecting me as well. And I think there should I at the end I think it's the country's law,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we should obey the
Of
law.
course, yeah.
But I think the government should think about it.
How do you cope with this? You said that you are it's affecting you. So how do you cope with this?
I think uh, you cannot cope with the situation. It is what it is. So at the end, the ultimate way is to ask your parents for more financial help,
Mm-hmm.
which ultimately leads to more mental stress for them as well as you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is no other possible solution for them unless and until you find a better paying job for them.
Which is very difficult in today's time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, other than this financial thing, how do you cope when you have, like, when you are really homesick? Because lately I have been feeling very homesick. I've been here without going home for more than 1.5 years, and I really want to go home. I'm so homesick, and I don't know, I just, like, kind of cry when I'm too homesick. What do you do to cope? Like, maybe I can help, I can get some help with that.
Actually, I don't have some good tips for you as well because I'm going through this situation as well. Uh, like this situation has affected me a lot. Sometimes, like you don't have anyone, you are just alone in your room. You're just sitting on your bed and thinking about all the positive things which you have done back in your country.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there were times uh, when I regretted why I come here. It's not that about the country. It's not about the situations here. Uh, Australia is one of the best countries in the whole world, but I think there is nothing much more important than your family.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. There's nothing much more important than your friends and family, and that is why like my mom's a single mother, my dad's no more, and like I think about what I can do like as a daughter. Like she's been helping so much as a single mother. Like she's like helping me so much with financially and in every aspect I could think of. So I try to like all I can do is call her and tell her like in any way possible that I am always there for you. Maybe I'm not able to like help you in the ways that you have helped me, but I am there for you. So because of that it might be too much, but I do call her like 5 times a day in the morning. Like I will wish her good morning, to call her to say just good morning, and then I'll like never sleep without saying goodnight to her. And like in between, I'll keep telling her, like even if it's just 1 minute of a call, I will do that. What about you? Like, how often do you talk to your family back home?
I talk to them every day, every single day. I talk to them. I talk with my mother. I talk with my younger sister. And to be honest, my dad has been really, really helpful for me in this situation. Like he calls me at least 2 times a day, asks me how it is there, and at the end of the day, when I share something with him, something which is not positive, he just says, I'm here, anything, just tell me. I am here for you, and if you need anything, you have any trouble, just ask me. I am here for you, and I think you will get through it. You have been through a lot, so I think my family has been really helpful to me, and I can't thank them enough. So yeah.
So do you wanna like say that like in everything as an international student and all the challenges that you have faced so far, your family has probably been the biggest pillar of support for you
Absolutely.
to overcome everything?
Yeah, absolutely. My family has been like very supportive to me, like in every terms. Like if I need to do something, if I want something, and they are always there for me. My mother, she checks on me every day. She calls me as well and asks me what I'm going through. She asks me what happened throughout the day, and whenever I tell her that this and this happened, so I think my father and my mother has been really supportive to me, and in all of these situations which I have faced in here in Australia, and in my whole life, my family has been there for me.
That's lovely to hear, like because I have a similar family and I know how their support can help you get through a really tough situation, especially when you feel like lonely. Like you know that you have no one in this country. But then it strikes you, like a call from them comes, and my mom would be like, "Why haven't you called me for so long?" And that like makes me happy. Yeah, I'm never alone because I can never be alone when I have such a beautiful family with me. And what about your friends? Like, do you call them as well? I know it's hard with the time difference and everything, but do you still catch up with them time to time?
Yeah, I do. I have some friends there, some really great friends, and uh, I call them whenever I want. In my friends' case, I don't think about the time zone. I don't think about anything. I just call them.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because I know they anyways like, have like very messed up sleep schedules. So anytime I call them, you have to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like there are some kinds of things which I cannot do from here, which I want them to do for me. Like there are a lot of stuff. So just I pick up my phone and just ring them and ask them, please, can you do this for me?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, yeah, fine. no worries. So I think my friends has been great. One of my friend who lives there, my best friend, is still there. Whenever I call him, he's there for me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Like, I think what we want to say by this, like, I think it's similar between you and me. That internet has been so helpful for us in this thing, because even though we are in a new country, it's the people back home who are still like giving, and the good memories that we have had and the relation connections that we have with them that has been helping us. So as friends and family has been like a great help for both of us. So what about university? Has university been helpful to you?
I believe my teachers and the university staff has been really helpful to me whenever I email them for something and for something which I don't understand academically. So they are always there for me. Other than that, I think we also have counseling sessions as well, which is provided by university, and it's completely free of charge. But I think there is some lacking there as well. Means like university should add more resources in terms of mental health for the international students.
I get that. So as university is probably not the best option, even though it does have the resources, what would you like to like suggest to anyone who is in your situation? What would you like to give them as an advice?
To be honest, I would ask them to reach out to your family, to your friends, and to be open about these kinds of situations. And don't hide anything from anyone. If you are facing any mental issue, if you are going through any mental trouble, just share with it. Share with your friends, share with your family. It's nothing that big of an issue. This can be like there are solutions for everything. Like I think so. If we think about it in a positive way, we will come with a solution about that as well.
I absolutely agree. Having a positive mindset is probably the key to everything. And as we have seen, there is always a way to get through any mental health issue. And there is hope, there is light, and we should never give up, I think.
Absolutely. And at the end, I would like to say to all of these international students that Australia is a wonderful country.
It definitely is.
You get to explore a lot of things here, you get to meet a lot of people here.
Yes.
Just don't lose hope. This is not any kind of a negative message, it's a positive thing. You got to, if you are coming here, just prepare for these kinds of things. Just be connected with your family, with your friends, and I think everything's gonna be fun and everything's gonna be good.
That's really a very beautiful message to send to everyone there. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, coming here, and giving us, opening up to us, and sharing your story and experiences with us. It must have been a bit difficult, but thank you so much for everything.
Thank you for
It was
having me.
wonderful having you here.
Thank you so much for that.